Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Tomas. Thank you so much for that, and cheers to you. For anyone that wants to request any other type of videos, topics, tier lists, rankings, reviews, re-reviews, thought streams, commentaries, whatever the case may be, feel free to send in. I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. And this time it is for the 2017 film Wakefield. Again, sorry for my weird, condition in my mouth. Just the damn sinuses, the stupid weather. This in South Texas. But who gives a shit? I'm going to get to this. Now, I had never heard of this film before, but it stars Bryan Cranston. Great actor. And I enjoyed him in Breaking Bad. The stuff I've seen so far. Jennifer Garner, which I don't hate Jennifer Garner, but I'm not big on her as Elektra. But I don't hate her either. I could deal with her in Daredevil, to be fair. I just don't like her Elektra movie. I didn't mind her in The Kingdom with Jamie Foxx. So I don't mind her. But the plot of it is Bryan Cranston's an attorney. He and his wife, Jennifer Garner, things are not really working the best with the marriage. Well, they'll kind of flirt with other guys or gals. They'll flirt with some other people to try to get hot and bothered, to have better sex. But things aren't working out the best. He's coming home from work, using the commute. The power goes out. He's got to walk home. There's this raccoon that he drives away, leads him into the garage. That's not attached to the house. It's a little bit far away from it. He goes in and he goes up in the attic to try to get the raccoon out, among other stuff. He kind of notices that on the attic of the garage, he can have a good view of the house. One thing leads to another. He falls asleep. Because he's so tired, he wakes up, and he went, well, damn. Now she's going to think I probably cheated on her, and how come I'm not home yet, and he's got to figure out what to do. And ultimately realizes, well, wait a minute, no, she called the cops and put a missing persons out. So what this guy decides to do, and I'll say I did not like this film. This film was aggravating. This film, it's not because of the acting. I just don't like the story. And this character, are we really supposed to find any semblance of likability with this guy? Or any semblance of feeling bad, even for a hint, at least by the end? If this character went outside, got hit by a bus, I'd have no tears falling down this face. The way I look at it, he plays a fucking horrendous character. Because what he decides to do, and you just say, well, that's the point. And the point is that he learns that he's selfish. He learns that what he's doing is wrong. But then the way the ending comes about, I'm like, you don't deserve a happy ending. No matter what, this will end badly, and you will deserve every little bit of it. Because you, as a character, are a complete fucking moron. At least the way I look at it. Just what happens is, he decides to just stay in the attic and stay missing. So then he, at first, steals stuff from his house, food, but then, I'm not going to do it, I'm going to stand on my own, and goes a lot of dumpster diving. His beard grows out. He gets like a little mattress, puts on the ground of the attic, and watches a lot. Watches a lot of his family. We'll see his wife crying. His kids go, oh, my kids, they don't really care. Right, it doesn't seem like they care. It just seems like they're just playing around like it's nothing. And you just say, well, it's him making himself out to be a victim and sees what he wants to see, all that stuff. But it's just a guy in an attic deciding to watch his family, make them think he'd gone missing. When he sees her cry, he goes, here comes the waterworks. Why live in a marriage and family day after day? Or, oh yeah, right, make her the victim. And I get people to say, well, that's the point. That's the point, is that it's this guy, this selfish, dumbass guy, who has to learn who he is. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about him learning who he is. I already know who he is. He's a dumb fuck. I already know that. Like, you have Jennifer Garner as a wife who somehow has not left your sorry ass. She's hot, number one. You have a successful business where you could live comfortably in a bed and you could have this great food, but now you're dumpster diving and getting straps. Because you want to get off the grid, stay missing, you can't really order much of food, you don't have that much money left, you're getting hairier and hairier. What is the positives of this? Well, I get to do more puzzles. He has no TV. He has no computer. He just watches across like a creep. What's the fucking benefit of this? Unshackled, I'll become who I'm meant to be. A homeless bum fucktard? That's who you be? All you can be in the Army Reserves? What the fuck are your major malfunction, buddy? Eating garbage to survive. Yeah, 'cause you're fucking stupid. 'Cause you're an idiot. So you're just watching this moron completely cut everything off, where his wife, you tell she's affected by it, by she's crying. And yes, there are moments that she invites people over, probably because doesn't want to lose her fucking mind. Because what else can you do? What else are you going to do? And it's just him watching his family. Watching them. Beverly D'Angelo is in this, from National Lampoon's Vacation, as, I think, Jennifer Garner's mom. You never hear her talk. Like, you see her through his... Just most of it is from his point of view. Where we see what he sees, we hear what he hears. So it's all from his point of view. We never get insight to what Jennifer Garner and what all the people are saying about him, what's going on. You never hear any of that. It never goes inside the house to hear them talk about it. The only insight you get is when he remembers to how he first got Jennifer Garner, where he used manipulative manners of subterfuge, where his buddy had the hots for her too. And, well, my buddy likes her, I liked her, so I'm going to fuck with them and make up this lie of, well, when we were in bed, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, wait, you guys have been together? Like, see it? And Bryan Cranston lies because he knows his buddy would try to force himself onto Jennifer Garner, and she's like, what the hell you doing? Of course, the guy could have said, the guy said he had sex with you, and she'd be like, what? That'd be an awkward conversation. She could say, well, it's none of your business, and no, I never did. Then he's like, well, why is he lying? Then she could dump both of them, but I guess the guy never brought that up. So instead he goes back and punches Bryan Cranston in the face. And then Bryan Cranston goes up to Jennifer Garner and goes, oh my god, I can't believe he's so violent. He punched you. And then manipulating and getting her with him. And then he's thinking, as he's being more and more homeless in his damn attic, freezing to death at times, well, did she ever love me? Maybe she's moving on from me. Maybe I should make... And also, again, yeah, idea is a manipulative guy. He even says at one point, well, I could have just left. I could have just divorced her, but here I still have the power where she can't move on because she doesn't know what's happened to me. And I mean, this is like evil, sadistic, 5 steps away from serial killer shit. Like, this is not, I mean, this is not just someone who has a midlife crisis. This is someone who's got no fucking soul in their body. And then they try to make it like he's got a bit of warmth to him because one of his neighbors has a couple. One of his neighbors, they help out handicapped kids. Two of them find out that Bryan Cranston's here. And they say, hey, how's it going? And he's friendly with them. And they help him out. And he's like getting along better with them than it seemed like with his own family. And that's supposed to make me believe, oh yeah, he's a decent guy. Look how he's treating these two. And I just see people go, well, it's about a guy who is a very flawed man, realizing what he's done, and eventually cleaning himself up, going back, and whatever the consequences happen. It's just one of those things that it just, as the movie kept on, I can't help it. It just kept bugging me and bothering me and going just in my head of just, this guy's a fucking piece of shit and I don't want to hang out with this guy for this long of time. Just this manipulative, emotionally abusive asshole that I don't buy his fucking redemption arc. I don't even see it as a redemption arc. I just don't buy any of it. I just don't buy any of it. Being this cold, hungry, homeless bum that I don't know what positives he saw in this at all in the first place. Plus, we never really got a sense of the two of them at the beginning as a couple, other than, okay, they would flirt with others and then have an argument here and there. But not enough to go to this route, these extremes. And then at the end of the film, you could almost say you wasted 2 hours for nothing. Because he cleans up, he shaves himself, he gets a suit, and then before he gets to the house, he imagines either they'll be happy or they'll be like, oh. I'm like, how about the third option? You motherfucker, fuck you, you know. He doesn't imagine the realistic option where she's beating the shit out of him. He goes in the house, he goes, I'm home. The family looks at him and it cuts. So there's no fucking answers. So there is no answers to what happens. So it's like you wasted your fucking time. It's such an anticlimactic, stupid fucking ending. They didn't want to commit. Now, in my view, there should be no happy ending for this guy. He gets fired. He gets ostracized by his friends. She gets the money, she gets the house, or going to sell the house to get somewhere else. He's pushed away. I mean, if it's a case where she smiles and he gets a happy ending, holy shit, that would be horrible. And he even mentions, like, what's he going to tell her? Where you been all this time? You've been missing all this time. How could there be a happy ending? So the fact he views somehow a happy ending is ridiculous. And if he says, well, I'm going to go up there and then let her choose, well, good for you, buddy. I just did not give a shit about this story. I just did. It was just such a weird string of thought process, and most of it's a lot of monologuing too. A lot of monologue. Most of the film is Bryan Cranston monologuing because he's by himself in this attic. So monologue after monologue after monologue after monologue, and honestly, after a bit, it got tedious to listen to. This constant monologuing. So you never really get a sense of the kids as characters. You never really get a sense of Jennifer Garner as a character, just as a prize or as a prop that he'll either manipulate or he'll let go or whatever. Barry D'Angelo barely has jack shit to do. She's in like one or two scenes, and again, you don't get to hear any dialogue she says, just from Bryan Cranston looking through binoculars. The stuff with the kids who are mentally handicapped, that fella that was pushed in there, the go, see, he's not too bad of a guy. He's not too awful of a guy. See, he's got some humanity to him. I'm like, bullshit. You're trying to manipulate me, and I ain't having it. If this guy got tipped in the nuts, punched in the face, and put into the psych ward, maybe that'd be the happy ending for him, or at least for me. I just despise this character. I despise watching him, his actions, his motivations. He was such a horrendous person that by the end, I'm like, no, unless it ends with her beating the shit out of him and throwing him out, and you like being homeless? Here you go. You like being homeless for so goddamn long? Here you go. Just a stupid thing. Yeah, let me throw away. And then he's like, one monologue, he says, "You've thought about it too. Don't lie," or whatever. You've thought about it too. Now, hey, maybe there's people who are in a marriage and they feel a bit stuck and they feel like they need to take a break. So I guess this is what you call the midlife crisis. That's why you go with your friends, I don't know, on vacation for a weekend. You know what you do? You take your page from City Slickers, trying to find your smile. What if I can't? Well, we'll jump, when we get to that bridge, we'll talk about it. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But obviously it's meant to be about a person who did it the wrong way. But, I mean, it's hard to garner Bryan Cranston's performance because he doesn't get to actually say a lot except looking, and constant monologuing. Now, I'll say this, once in a while he has a bit of a funny bit that he does say, like when he's trying to mimic what the other person might be saying. And he has a little bit of funny quip here and there, I'll give you that, but the rest of it just... It's just a terrible fucking person we're watching for a good chunk of time. That Patrick Bateman was almost more likable than this guy, and he murdered people. And again, the ending is such a bullshit ending where it's a cop-out. I know the intention, I'm sure, was make up your own mind. You fill in the blank space yourself of what happens afterward. Sometimes movies can do that and it can work out. To me, there was a cop-out here. It was a complete fucking cop-out. No answers. For a lot of people, I'm sure feel like you just wasted your fucking time because you don't really give much of an ending to the story that you've been watching. And I just found it boring after a bit. A guy in his attic watching his family and dumpster diving. Dumpster diving some more, watching his family. Some flashbacks to show how much of a shitty person he was. I don't know. You say it's one of those films I just don't get? Fine. I'm happy with not getting it. I don't need to get it. Like an STD, I don't need to get it. So take that for you will. If you want to see Bryan Cranston play a real... I mean, hell, his fucking character in Breaking Bad was more likable than this. Walter White was more likable than this guy. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. And yes, one quick addition to the end of this. I know the character's not meant to be likable. That's the whole purpose of it. That's the whole point of it. But I don't think he's that interested of a character either to follow for 2 fucking hours. I don't think he's that intriguing of a character. Because, again, aside from 1 or 2 little snippets of humor, most of it's just constant monologuing as if he has a fucking thumb up his tight ass, thinking he's some scholar pontificating about life, when you just know the whole time he's full of shit. And then his whole I'm going to change arc at the end, I don't buy. I just don't buy it. I don't know how else to put it. I just didn't buy it. And so there you go. So anyway, the actual end. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.